Hi guys! Okay, so it's story time. So I've never done this before on my channel, but I decided since Valentine's Day is about a week away that I would tell you guys a story about one of my failed romances. I've never had a relationship, so I wouldn't know how to classify this, but it's a story about the time how I broke more than just my heart. So it all started when I was in 9th grade. I don't know how old I would be. I'm 19 now. Have no idea. But I know that it was around the time that One Direction started becoming a big thing. Like, they're becoming famous and stuff. And the reason is, okay, so it was my first year in high school and I was so excited. Everybody talked in middle school about starting romances. That'll be your time to get a boyfriend when you go to high school, and they always say that in middle school. They're like, you're gonna get a boyfriend in high school you're gonna get a boyfriend in college, and I'm still waiting for that boyfriend. He still hasn't come yet. But anyways, so I remember that when One Direction first came out, my favorite, my ultimate favorite, my all-time favorite was Harry Styles. So it was my first or my second day or third. It was about the first week of 9th grade. And I had native speaker Spanish, where all you do is speak in Spanish and learn how to speak Spanish properly, right? So I remember in my school we have, what's it called? We have metal detectors, and you had to put your bag through on a table or through the conveyor belt, and your backpacks would be like, you could see what's inside your backpack in the conveyor belt or the x-ray machine, and the security guards, if you didn't put it in there, would go through your backpack, right? So I remember there was a boys and a girls line. So I remember going through the girls line, and I saw like this kid from the back, right? And I was like, I've never seen this kid before, right? So I'm going, and we're going in at the same time, and like obviously they're going through my backpack and stuff, and I look across the line, and this kid, like, no joke, no lie, looked like Harry Styles. And I was like, oh my god, I've never seen this kid in my life. He's so cute. Like, I was fangirling when he was just doing his own thing, like going through security and stuff. I did notice though that he spoke only Spanish. Oh my god, my tripod shaking because of my cat. I'm sorry. He's so annoying. Wait, let me get him out. Anyways, if I was really interrupted by my cat, what was I saying? Oh yeah, so I noticed he spoke mostly Spanish because he was with some other guy and he was telling him about the school and stuff in Spanish. So I knew this kid was new just from using my context clues. So I go and I tell my friends, I'm like, oh my god, I saw this guy. He looked like Harry Styles. He's so cute, this, that, and the other, right? And nobody believed me, I guess. So it's around 5th period. I'm pretty sure that's when I had him in... Well, I'm pretty sure it's 5th period. That's when I had Spanish. So I'm sitting there, right? And the bell rings, and then the knock happens at the door, and lo and behold, it's Harry Styles! And I'm gonna call him Harry because obviously I'm not gonna use his real name because he's gonna think I'm a creep. So anyways, so Harry walks in through the door, right? And he's all beautiful, luscious in his luscious hair. He had nice thick hair like Harry Styles, and he was just walking in and strutting in and stuff. And I'm like, oh my god, how can this be possible? How's he in my class? This is such a coincidence, this, that, and the other. Obviously already coming out with our baby names. But he sits, lo and behold, to the left of me, like right next to me. And I see that he's looking at me, and I'm looking at him, and I'm giving him the love eyes. The best that I can because I'm so awkward. And so then days, like, as the days go by and the weeks go by and stuff, we start giving each other eyes, flirting with each other as 9th graders can. So he only did speak Spanish, but that's okay, girl, because I'm bilingual. I can try to speak with him. Tu sabes, yo puedo hablar contigo, papi. Anyways, so okay, this is where everything starts going downhill, where I broke more than just my heart. So obviously, guys, I've never had any relationship, so even if a guy gives me a little bit of attention, like I fall hard for love. I'm a romantic. I don't know why, but I believe in fairy tales, all this and that. Like, I fall hard for people, and it takes me a while to fall hard for people after this incident, but that'll be another story. But anyways, so I got this kid's messenger because I guess no one had phone numbers or cell phone numbers. So he would text back to me. He'd be like, what are you looking for? And I'm like, I'm looking for my Prince Charming, but I'm saying this in Spanish. I'm like, my príncipe con ojos azules, something like that, right? And then, I'm sorry, my head's going everywhere. Okay, so then, like, we flirted back and forth. Obviously, if a guy's texting you and telling you all these things, you think, oh, he has a crush on me. Am I wrong? His best friend was also in that class, and let's call him Victor, okay? So I'm pretty sure it was, like, around December, like, 2 weeks before Christmas and stuff, and I'm head over heels for this kid who, by the way, these are just red warning signs I should have noticed that they were going up, was that, like, sometimes he would, like, talk to me, other times he would ignore me. Like, it was really weird, like, mixed signals, right? But then he's talking to me, being like, oh, like, you're cute and stuff, and I'm like, okay. So Victor's like, are you going to the rollerblading field trip? Rollerblading? The one where you're not on ice? Rollerblading field trip, which was only for the Spanish classes, so, and it was going to be after school, so you had to go to school at 7, and then you would go to the rollerblading rink. So I'm like, why? I'm thinking about it, but I don't know yet, because all my friends, they're not in Spanish classes. Obviously, I have different types of friends. They're not all Spanish. So they weren't going to be there, and I'm really, like, I don't know, like, I guess back then as a 13-year-old or whatever, you're really insecure about yourself and stuff, and I can see that now, because when I look at myself a long time ago, I'm like, dang, girl, you were cute. You weren't that ugly. And, like, I used to hate myself. I was like, oh, girl, you're so hit and stuff. Whatever, that's a different topic. But anyways, he was like, are you going? And I was like, why? And he was like, because I heard that Harry was gonna ask you out while you... So he was gonna ask you to go skate with him, and then while you guys were skating, he was gonna ask you out. And oh my god! That's what I said on the inside, but on the outside, I was like, oh, really? I'll think about it. I'll see. But then in my head, I was frantically like, oh my god, I gotta get this paper signed, because that was the last day. That was the day of. So if you had to hand in your permission slip that day, or you weren't going. And not to mention, it was $20, which I barely have $1 to this day on me. So I didn't have that. I'm like frantically thinking, how am I gonna get this permission slip signed? I need to get these $20, this, that, and the other, right? So it's about lunchtime, and I had lunch with my friends, and I only had like 5 friends. So a really close friend that I used to have, let's call her Jem. I told Jem all this, and me and Jem, like, we're so bad at having relationships, so I'm telling her this, and obviously she's fangirling too, like, this is a fairy tale, like, oh my god, your dreams are coming true, it's gonna ask you out. And me and her were friends since elementary school, so best believe she was rooting for me. So she was like, okay, so this is what happened. She was like, let me forge the signature, let me sign for your parents. And she was really good at this. Like, a lot of people always would go to her and say, can you sign my test for me, can you do this and that? And she would do it to the T. So I was like, are you sure, and she's like, no, I got your back. And she also spotted me the $20, so this was happening. She grabbed that pen, she wrote my parents' signature, and this was it. I was doing it. So I went to the teacher, gave her the permission slip and the money, and I was gonna go. So I got home and I told my parents, I told them that there was a free field trip that I was gonna go on, and it was a rollerblading field trip, and it was at 7 in the night, I guess. And so my mom, this is where everything goes wrong, because I'm pretty sure she jinxed me. She was like, no te vayas a ir a quebrar la pata, which in English means don't go and break your leg. So I go to this field trip all dolled up, what I think was dolled up, because even to this day I don't really have that much of a fashion sense, which all goes down to like my size and all that and stuff, which is another story, which if you guys keep up with me, you guys know. And even today, like, this to me is getting dolled up, because I just came home from school, right? And I was wearing my dad's old raggedy sweatshirt, a pair of big sweatpants and rain boots, and a pair of raggedy shoes because I had gym also. But I was like, if I'm gonna film myself, I gotta act like this is a date between me and you guys. I gotta look good. If you guys are willing to watch my videos, I gotta look somewhat okay, like I didn't just roll out of bed. But back to the story. I remember exactly what I was wearing. I was wearing these red skinny jeans, like really tight red skinny jeans, like bright red. And then I was wearing like this kind of a dress top thing, and it was like white and like, what's that thing called? White and cream and black stripes going down, and the side was like gold little buttons, so it made me look like I had a waist, and I was feeling myself. I think I had my hair out. I had long hair back then, so I'm pretty sure I would have had my hair out. And like, and my sister's Converse, they were new, so they were purple, like red and purple. And like I said, I don't know how to dress, and they were new, so I was feeling myself. I went there. And I also brought a spray with me, a vanilla spray, because I read in the magazines that attracts guys, so I was spraying that on me. I got there and I was like, bye mommy. So I go inside, right, and I'm like, everyone was in their own cliques all by themselves. Like this, I started getting a bad vibe just from the beginning. Everybody was in their own cliques and stuff. So I was like, okay, I went to the corner trying to brood and look cute, you know, look mysterious. And then he came in and he went with his own friends and stuff, which was weird because, you know, if you're feeling me, I thought you would have said hi or something, you know, but he didn't, which red flags, red flags, red flags. So I finally met this girl who was like me, and she was not in like the ESL, what's that thing called? Oh, English as a second language. She wasn't in those classes, so she was like, I kind of knew her because she was in some of my classes, but we were like acquaintances. So like we're like, hey, hi, and I talked to her a little bit here and there, but when it came time to go on the buses, he still hadn't said hi to me or anything like that. So I was like, okay, this is weird, whatever. They said when we're there skating, so I still had my hopes up. Dumb me. So I get on the bus. So this is where everything starts going downhill. So I get on the bus and I have to sit. I didn't know who to sit with, so I ended up having to sit with this girl that I guess nobody liked. And I don't care. Like, I don't have hate towards people. If you didn't do nothing to me, that's, you know, I'm not gonna have any feelings towards you. That's a waste of time and energy to be hating on people. But I can see kind of why, because she smelled like fish, like F-I-S-H, in the ocean, fish. Like, you know when you walk by in the supermarket, like the dried fish section, boom, like fish in your face. So my little vanilla perfume bottle came in handy, so when she wasn't looking, I would spray that way. And I guess vanilla like masks the smell of fish in general when you're cooking and stuff. So I was like, okay, that problem was, I don't know how to say that, but the problem was not there anymore, right? I didn't have to deal with the smell. And I saw him in the back, like, talking to other girls with guys and stuff, and I felt some type of way, but I was like, no, you look cute today. He's gonna ask you this, that, and the other. Like, my confidence was up here. So, we get there. Oh my god, there's so many red flags! So we get there, right? And we go inside, and then he finally kind of acknowledged me, but in a bad way. So we went there, right? And obviously, being a big girl, you need to have big feet to hold this. I can't have little itty bitty size 5 feet or size 6 feet and expect them to hold this body without having problems. It's just not aerodynamic. So I get there, and I've always had wide feet problems. Like in Payless, they told my mom once, sorry ma'am, we don't have shoes for your big-footed daughter. That's another story. Like, I could wear a size 7 or 8 if my feet weren't fat. So, like, anytime I wear shoes and stuff, like, I'll have, like, a big gap of, like, height-wise, but width it fits perfectly. So, I was like, can I get a size 9? I'm pretty sure a size 9. And they gave me a size 9, and then I hear him, like, he was next to me ordering his shoes. He's like, ooh, you have size 9 feet, in Spanish, obviously. Wow, your feet are big. And I was like, no, this, that, and the other. Like, I made some type of excuse, like, no, I just want my shoes to be loose or something like that, right? And that made that confidence go, whoop. So I was like, okay, whatever. So I put them on, and I noticed that the rollerblades they gave me were, they didn't have shoelaces. They were just like the little clip things. If any of you guys ever went rollerblading, you know how like they have shoelaces and the clips. So they only had the clip things. And listen, this is my first time rollerblading. I've been ice skating before. So I was like, it's the same thing, just different grounds, ice and floor. But I was like, okay, this is weird. But I've never rollerbladed. So I just assumed I could just skate like that, right? Plus, I was too embarrassed to go back to ask because, one, they only had the 4-wheel ones that were like shoes, and I wanted to use the skinny ones with the wheels in the middle. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Like the rollerblade ones, not like the little boots with... I wanted to use the ones that had the 4 wheels in the middle like that. Not the ones that had 2 wheels here and 2 wheels there. Because, one, I like being competitive, and I thought I was a bad ASS wearing like the shoes that not all the other girls were wearing, because all the other girls were like fragile little baby strawberries, and like that's what they call it in Spanish, fresas. They were like little baby delicate flowers. They were wearing the little boots, and they were like, oh, so scared and stuff. And no, I was like, I'm gonna get into this. I'm gonna do this, that, and that. Like I've always had that kind of mentality. Like I don't mind getting down and dirty. Like I could literally wash off dirt. That doesn't scare me. If I break a nail, okay. Now that I want to grow my nails long and stuff, that kind of does make me, it makes me feel bad. But back then I was like, I can do this. I played sports. I was like down, you know? But that doesn't mean, like every time I was like, people would be like, are you bi? Are you a dyke? This, that, and that. Just because I like to do stuff like that doesn't mean that I don't like being feminine, that, you know. Anyways, that's another rant for another time. But, so I just put them on, right? So I put my sister's sneakers to the side. I didn't have money, I guess, for some reason to put them in a lock or whatever. And I didn't think people were gonna steal my big clown feet shoes, you know? So I put them to the side. So I go out, I'm skating, I'm rollerblading, and I'm like, yes, yes, yes. So I went around it like more than 6 times. To be honest, like, it had already been, like, 20 minutes into the field trip, nothing, he wanted to talk to me or whatever, but, you know, I'm used to being a single girl, I'm used to being independent, so I'm just doing my own thing, having fun, you know, with the music. So, then, something happens, this girl, or someone bumped into me, I'm pretty sure it was a girl, bumps into me, right, and I fall to the side. So when I fall to the side, I feel like a electricity going up my whole leg, like gelatin, right? So then I go to the floor, right? I just thought I fell. And I try to get up, and my right leg's not working. Like, I try to get up, and it's just, like, going to the side, like, not even wanting to stand up. So this is my leg, right? And, like, normal feet, they're like this, right? But my leg was going sideways, and I was basically just stepping on my ankle. Like, I don't know, like, as if I didn't have a foot, just stepping on my ankle. And I'm like, what's happening? This has never happened to me before. And, like, then a dark, sinking feeling hit me. I was like, oh my god, what's happening? I don't know what's going on. And, okay, this mother effer, this mofo, comes up to me when I'm on the floor. I was trying to figure out what's going on for the past 5 minutes, because I didn't feel any pain. This just felt numb. Like, it was just like this. It wasn't working. It wasn't cooperating. It didn't want to go like that. It was just going to the side, you know? So then he comes up to me and he's like, do you want to go rollerblading with me? And I'm like, oh my god, in my head, I'm like, I'm gonna stab you and kill you. But on the outside, I was like, oh, not right now. I was kind of just taking a break. Maybe afterwards, right? I was like, oh, I fell or something. I was like, I'm just taking a break, right? And he was like, okay. And he went to go rollerblade. So, there goes my opportunity for him to ask me out. But then here I am working with another problem. So, the girl that I was telling you about earlier, let's call her Jacqueline. So Jacqueline comes, right? And she's like, are you having fun? This, that, and the other. And I also told Jacqueline about the whole backstory about how he was going to ask me out and stuff. And she's like, why didn't you go skate with him, right? Because she saw that he left. And I was like, Jacqueline, listen, I don't know what's going on, but I fell and I can't get up. And then at that moment, this other girl fell, like one of those dainty girls who were wearing the normal like shoe easy baby ones, and she falls to the floor and she's crying, making a big scene. So everyone goes, everyone, literally, let's say this is the whole group of people who went rollerblading, everyone goes, and it's just me and Jacqueline on the side, right? And they're all tending to her and all that, and she's crying like like blood death screams. And then side note, turns out all she did was sprain her ankle. Like, she could get back up and all that. So I'm like, Jacqueline, I don't know what's going on. So, at this point, I'm kind of feeling a little bit of pain. Like, it was starting to hit me. Like, no, this hit the fan. Like, I don't know what's happening. So Jacqueline goes and tries to get the teachers to move away from that girl who literally could get up and put an ice pack on and sit to the side. And they come and I'm like, I fell and I can't get up, and I'm trying to explain this to them and stuff. And this was when I finally looked down at my ankle. Literally, my ankle should be going like I said, like this. Like, this is the leg. My ankle should be going like this. My foot was literally on the other side. Like, I don't know how to explain it to you. It was like a Halloween mask and like all dangly like this. And that's when everything started to hit me, like my panic and everything. I was like, oh my god. That's when everything just started feeling like it was falling on top of me, like a panic attack, I guess. So then they're like, oh my god, call 911, call this, that, and the other. So I'm there, like, I'm chilling at first and stuff, right? And then when they touch my foot and stuff, and they take off the freaking skate, and I see that dangliness and all that and stuff, I'm pretty sure, like, I passed out. Like, everybody who was around me, like, everybody's whispers, like, oh my god, is she okay, this, that, and the other, just sounded like it was down at the end of the tunnel. Like, I was just getting pushed more and more into the tunnel, and everybody just sounded like they were miles away, even the people right next to me. And the only voice I heard, like, while I was, like, being pushed far away was the guy's voice saying, no la toca, no la toca, don't touch her, don't touch her. Like, trying to defend me and stuff. Like, where were you? You could have asked me way before all this happened to rollerblade with you, and at least then I could have been axed out and stuff. And at that point, I was mad at everything, the whole world, everything. I was like, God, why are you doing this to me? But little did I know, this was a blessing, but we'll talk about that later at the end of it, or maybe I'll do a part 2. I'll just talk about how the incident and stuff. So then the ambulance comes, and listen, I've always been a big girl, although I'm gonna insert pictures of, okay, I have so much to say. So I'm gonna insert pictures that I found. I used to have pictures of like what it looked like without cast and all that, but I only found pictures of myself like after the surgeries and everything with like the cast on and everything. So I'll show you that. And like, even though I don't look, at least in my eyes, I don't look big, but compared to the other girls, I was always a big girl. So you know what, besides the fact that, oh, you know, maybe my leg was broken or my ankle was broken, whatever, in my head when the ambulance came and they were trying to get me on the stretcher, I was like, oh my god, they're gonna need more than 5 people. I'm so big, I'm gonna break their backs. Oh my god, I'm freaking out. And I was freaking out about that, and that's how you know how messed up my mind is with my weight. I was like, oh my god, oh, this is gonna be embarrassing. Everyone's gonna see they can't pick me up and stuff, instead of freaking out that I may have broken my leg. So I go with the teacher, let's call him Mr. Franklin, and Mr. Franklin's in the ambulance with me. Honestly, that was quite a haze, because I think I was going in and out of blackoutness, like I was fainting in and out. So we get to the hospital, and it was a beautiful hospital. Like, shout out to them, they were really nice, they were really kind, they did everything right, no complications, no nothing, so clean, cut to the point, amazing, right? And we get there, and I'm in the emergency room waiting, right? And since I was a minor, they weren't allowed to do anything. They weren't allowed to even touch me. They weren't allowed to even look at me for x-rays. They weren't allowed to even give me pain medicine. They weren't allowed to even put ice packs on me. So they called my parents and stuff. Like always, they never answer. And to this day, they never answer. So they called my dad, and he answered, right? But obviously, he works at night. Well, you guys don't know, but he works at night. So he wasn't going to be able to come do anything. So it was pointless. So my mom, who was at home, and my sisters were the ones, and they didn't answer. They didn't answer. Finally, after an hour of being in an emergency room in pain, doing nothing, they answer. And even then, they still had to come. And it was probably like a 2-hour drive. So I was waiting for 4 hours with nothing. And then Mr. Franklin's like, oh, you probably just sprained your ankle or twisted it or something. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. And you know your own body. So I knew this was more than just a twisted ankle or anything like that. Like, I knew this was gonna be some broken bones. So they finally come after 4 hours. And this is around the Christmas time. So at least ABC's 25 Days of Christmas was keeping me entertained. But oh my god, I was in so much pain. And so my mom finally came with my sisters and stuff. And then they finally got to give me x-rays and do all these things. So after all this, it turned out that I broke my ankle I broke 3 of my ankle bones into 2 pieces. So I had to get surgery more than 2 times. It was so much stuff, and this video was getting really, really long. So I guess if you guys want a part 2 of this, I can do a part 2 of like recovery and how it all ended with this one guy and everything. But let's just say it didn't end really well. Let me see if I could. I'm pretty sure I still have scars on my right side of my ankle. Maybe I could like videotape it or whatever. Let me see. See right there, that's the outside of my ankle that has the surgery. And then no balance. And then right there on the outside, I don't know if you guys can see that, it's fading now, is the outside. Is the other side of where I got my surgery. And I'm sorry for the hideous Crocs, but these are my dad's. And I was like, I'm not trying to be barefoot. So I just wore that. But besides that, that's the story of how I broke my ankle for love. And I ended up with a broken ankle and broken hearted on Christmas in the hospital. So if you guys enjoyed that video and you want to hear a part 2 of everything else, because I don't want to make this an hour video, let me know down in the comments below. If you guys have any stories of situations where your love life just went down this way, put it down below in the comments. Maybe I might start a series or something where like I read your guys' stories, you know, if that makes any sense. Okay, before I end this video, updates. So last week I said that I was gonna, if you watched my last week video, I said that I was gonna drink a gallon of water a day. I have been doing that. I think my skin's been clearing up a little bit. Like, I still have the pimples here, but like everything else has been clearing up, so that's good. My nails are starting to grow, especially because I stopped trying to bite them. And this week, oh, and exercise every day. I have been doing that, and it's killing me. Like right now, talking to you guys, my whole body hurts. And this week I'm gonna try to eat smaller portions and healthier. Fingers crossed that goes well. I just want, by April, I just want to be under 200 pounds. Like, can I get this for my birthday? Oh, and my dad's birthday is actually on Valentine's Day, so I might be doing something really cool. I might, you know, record that. I don't know, but I hope you guys liked my sad Valentine's Day story. Well, it was sad and funny, and like, you know what? I don't regret these things because they make me who I am, and I learn from these mistakes. But I hope you guys enjoyed the story, and if you stayed all the way to the end, I'm so sorry it was so long. And thank you guys for watching. If you're new to my channel, subscribe. If you're old to my channel, spread my news, spread my channel to everyone so more people can enjoy these videos, I guess, or find some comfort in my misery. And give me a thumbs up if you like this video, and see you guys next week. Oh, also part 2 if you want to hear that, put it down below. And thank you guys for listening. Bye.